Howdy, hi, howdy ho, howdy, hi,
Blow.
howdy still, and howdy blow.
Yeah.
Starting this podcast
blow.
with some blow? Oh no! Wait, I rhymed again. Oh god, what a stupid intro. As usual, welcome back to the stupidest podcast on the internet. In today's podcast, there's all sorts of stuff to complain about, because that's what I want to do. I've got some weird complaints, but also, I went on a trip to Prague. Also, Mormons be fucking, but they don't want to admit it. And many more things. Wow.
And many more, you know, like they sing at birthday songs.
Yeah, like the uncle at the birthday party sings.
Yeah. It's always the funny uncle in it who goes, and many more. Yeah.
funny, uncle.
Yeah. In big fucking air quotes. Yeah, the biggest laugh that you ever get that uncle ever gets is like, yeah. That's like the big. You know what? Yeah.
That's right. Oh wow. Well, Judd. First things first. Have you done anything other than play games and watch stuff with your grandparents this week?
I have played games and watched stuff with my grandparents, but I wanted to talk about who I played some video games with.
Okay.
Because I thought it was a sweet story. Am I jumping straight into that? I feel like I'm gonna do it. My little brother was over, Dalton, and he came over to I think he's super into football. Like he knows he's big on the football scene. So he came over to like go watch the match with my granddad, and he was staying the night, and he ended up at one point just coming into this office where I'm in, and we ended up playing a bunch of those Xbox 360 games.
Yeah, because they're like relics to a kid that age.
yeah, and that was the thing, because it was like showing a kid, you know when the dad gets out the Atari and he's like, look, son, this is what we played back in my genuinely it was like that. And we played, first of all, what did we play first? I think we played Worms first. I think Worms was the first game that was played. That we had fun on Worms. I fucking thrashed him.
How old is he?
He's 10. Then I showed him after that. Oh, we played Injustice.
Okay, I
fucking thrashed him on that
as well.
I went easy, I promise.
But that's part of the that's part of the experience, isn't it? When you're the younger kid playing the relic games that the old man used to play, you gotta get just completely thrashed. You've got to. It's part of the experience.
We then played a bit of Borderlands 2 together. We killed Boom and Bume, right at the beginning. Yeah. Like when you're sort of just leaving that sort of main area. Then he's been watching South Park, right? Okay, so
for a 10-year-old.
Well, that's when I started watching South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know, not good. So we played some Brutal Legend together as well, because I thought like that's if he's watching South Park, he can play Brutal Legend. Was there? I don't think there was anything else. No, but I don't think there was anything else. But next time, I might show him a bit of Space Marine, because that's just cool. Just stabbing things. I might show him. Yeah, Bulletstorm.
We're talking about the classics.
Shooting
I'm going to say
things.
Bulletstorm. What about some Prince of Persia, or what about these ones?
I don't know about Prince of Persia, because the thing is, the only one I'd want to show him is Warrior Within, and I really don't think I could do the whole opening scene where that woman walks on and she's like, her fat bare ass is like on screen. Like I'd be like, oh, I don't want to. I'm like fine with him looking at like gore and swearing, but the second there's a titty, I'm like, oh no.
What's some other classics? What about have you got Soul Calibur? What about that one?
No, I don't have Soul Calibur. I might get one though. I was thinking about maybe trying to find some of the Dragon Ball Z games.
Yeah, they've got a new one coming out, Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
Oh god.
What do you mean? Oh god. Oh god, that's another one I'm gonna have to play.
No. I've not played one in years. It's just the fact that that's probably about the 70th one. That what I might show him Dead Rising because that's funny. I'll probably show him Bulletstorm. I don't know. I think Fallout New Vegas is probably too slow for him, and
right, yeah. I have a different problem. I've got some. I show my girlfriend games instead. It's a very different experience. She's the same age as you. But she's probably played less games than your brother, who you're showing games. So it's it's kind of weird in that you can show him all these things, whereas they'd probably be too fast and too complicated for the person I'm trying to get into games. It's like starting from fresh. It's very odd, rather than, obviously, he will have seen more modern games and grown up with them, and looking back, it's like, wow, this is so, like, kind of, janky and historic, whereas anything I show her, she's like, wow, what the fuck? This is just so much, it's so complicated. I had on, because I have to play more simple games with her, typically the graphics are more either not as good or they're more stylized. For example, like Life is Strange, that's got like stylized graphics.
Yeah.
A Short Hike, that's got stylized graphics and things like that. So she walked in on me once playing Spider-Man on the PS5. And she was like, whoa! She was like, what is that? And I was like, it's Spider-Man. It's not even like it's like, if I got it on PC or something like that and had booted graphics up to full, it's the PS4 version. It weren't even the PS5 version. And she was like, whoa, that looks so real! And it was like, yeah, I remember when I thought that about Prince of Persia Warrior Within. So, Judd, let me tell you some weird stuff, right?
Go on,
don't worry. Me. The saga of the sock going about, it's over.
Oh, no, it's over, it's over, oh, thank God.
If you don't know what I'm referring to then, you need to go back and listen to the rest of the podcast, because there was some weird dealings with this one sock that kept going everywhere. But first things first, right? We've got some fruit in my house, and we got it from this shop that, like, you can only access if you do certain jobs, because it's really cheap.
What the fuck? What? Oh, okay, all right. No, it just sounded like some sort of weird, like, cult that you were, like, part of, like, some sort of weird shop cult.
No, it's to kind of, like, help out people who need it more. So, like, if you work for the NHS, for example, or if you work for a school, things like that. So I
do actually know what you mean. It's just the way you said it. Then I was like, "What is this weird? Like, I have to fucking collect 10 boar hides, and then I'm allowed in the fucking."
Judd, have you been playing World of Warcraft too much lately? Because it's
no, but that's
no, because so we got it from there, and it's a bit of a grotty shop. I'm going to be honest, a bit of a grotty store, and I don't like getting fruit from there, because that's the type of thing that's like. You want that shit to be fresh, And it's same with meat. I don't particularly like getting meat from there as well. Those are the two things that, like, if it's stuff like packets of stuff, so like packets of rice or pasta, that's fine. Or like even beers, cans of stuff and all sorts of things like that. That's normally fine. But I don't like getting fruit and meat from there. Yeah. However, my girlfriend loves going there, and she don't give a shit. So she's just recently bought a bunch of fruit, and I was quickly trying to eat some stuff before the podcast because I've been really busy today. And so I grabbed an apple, and I took a bite of it right before starting, and it was a Pink Lady apple, right? Pink Ladies,
and they're my favourite.
They're the top tier apple, right?
Yeah.
And the reason she's got them is because normally they're really expensive. Well, I wouldn't recommend getting them from this shop because it tasted like fucking nuts.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's like you could tell it was like the outside as well. It was like the skin, not the flesh. The flesh on the inside tasted normal, but it's so something had gotten on the outside of that and coated it, and it tasted like nuts, and it was just fucking gross and weird.
Yeah,
but I took one bite and just went and threw it in the bin.
I know what you mean, because there's something really fucking like primal about expecting one thing that's going in your mouth and then like it being something else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Especially when like it actually is an apple. Like, sometimes you might think that a certain thing, like for example, if I thought this certain nut was a fruit for some reason and it tasted like a nut, it's like, oh no, that's not what I expected.
Yeah.
But in this case, no, it should have tasted like an apple.
No, but also, like, I mean, like, if you're eating an apple, you expect to know what an apple should feel like as you're eating it. So if you're eating an apple and all of a sudden you feel a crunch, like something, you immediately you just go. Oh!
Well, it wasn't so much the texture, but yeah, it was just it just tasted like it. Another weird one for you though, right? For some reason, my car has this function where I don't know if it's whether you hold one of the buttons on the key fob or if you like press it like 4 times or something like that. I'm not sure. But for some reason, I think it must be if you hold down one of the buttons on the key fob. It just winds down all the windows automatically.
Okay.
And you're not in the car.
What?
Like, I can just do it from here. I can't remember which button it is. I figured it out once, but I've forgotten. And why the fuck would you ever want that? Why would you ever want that function? Wind down all your windows with your key fob.
Because you might need to make an emergency exit and all your doors might not be working.
Well, then I'll wind them down if I'm in the car. There's buttons to wind them down. Why would I ever want to wind down all the windows at the same time from outside the car?
Okay. All right, okay. You might have to make an emergency entrance and all of the doors might not be working.
No! No, you might not. That's not a scenario ever. And it's annoying because sometimes I'll accidentally lean on my keys and then I'll come out to my car and all the windows will just be open. And
oh god.
Like, what the fuck? And it's been raining today, so I did that earlier and I came out and my car's just got water all in it. I'm like, what? Oh. It's just why Ford? Don't do that. Don't do that one. It's killing me. Stop it.
Killing me, Ford. You're killing me.
Oh god. We're gonna do this as a choose your own adventure type of thing, Judd. We've got.
Okay.
I argue with people on Reddit.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. The Mormon sex thing. I might pass out right now, actually. I don't know what's going on, but I've got lights all over my eyes. Oh, wait. No, they went away. Okay, I'm fine. And then the third choice is Prague. Which one do you want to hear about first?
Tell me about Prague.
Okay, I will do. It's not going to be too detailed, this one. There's not too many things to tell you. There's not anything particularly weird that happened. This was over the Easter break. My mum did the thing where she's like, I want to go on holiday. She doesn't sound like that. I don't know why I give her that voice. She just wants some people to go on holiday with us, so she just paid me to, basically. No, it was free holiday. And we went to Prague. Prague is beautiful, by the way. It's in the Czech Republic.
Okay, that was my question. Okay,
I knew it was coming. It's great. I'm at the point where I'm pretty certain I don't want to live in this country. The main thing stopping me from moving already is people. Like, you know, how am I going to get you to come over to watch the fights like we're doing on Saturday? It's like, you know, it's so that's the worst bit by far. But other than that, I just really don't like living in the UK. Czech Republic has now been added to my short list of potential places to go.
The Czech Republic.
You wouldn't have thought it, would you? It's not a place I've thought of, but I think that's part of it. I think that's why I like it, because it's not particularly like touched as heavily by a lot of shit stuff in the world. Yeah, it's still affected by plenty of it. Trust me, it's still a shit place because everywhere's shit. But it's one of the least bad places, you know. So we got to our hotel, and there was a quite attractive young man on the reception.
Oh,
and I was like, whoa, okay. I was shocked a bit. And it was kind of interesting.
Who knew the Czech who knew the Czech Republic's #1 export was cute boys?
Well, I was kind of thinking, you know, you could 100% be a model. Why are you working in a hotel? It was like one of those things. It was like, what are you doing here? Start an Instagram or some shit. What the fuck? It was like that. So we got there, and it was funny because this guy had obviously spent time in Yorkshire, which was interesting. I don't know why. It was definitely
out of all the super hot receptionist guys in the Czech Republic, this one also happens to have gone to Yorkshire.
Exactly. Great. And do you know how I knew that? Because we asked if we could leave his bags at the hotel first and then go out and about a bit before, you know, our room was ready. And when I was handing over the bags to him, he went, "Cheers."
Oh,
so that's like a thing that people from Yorkshire do. That's not like, people don't do that. Even like other places of England, people don't say cheers instead of thank you.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And we were talking to him, and we said to him, "Oh, it's quite quiet in here, isn't it? You should have some music on or something." And I said, I think my mum said, "Oh, you should get a radio," and he said, "Oh, no, I don't like the music on the radio," and said, "Oh, maybe," and then he said, "Oh, and when we've got English guests, I can't play the music I like listening to," and we were like, "Oh, why? Why not?" And I kid you not, he said, "Oh, it's because it's about stabbing in the streets."
Oh.
Now, okay, I
actually think that UK people would get that. I actually think, I think that,
I think we'd understand. But that's the thing. Like, he could have said, "Oh, it's like metal music, and it's about bad things. Like the lyrics say bad things." But no. He made it sound like the music he likes has to be about stabbing in the streets specifically.
Yeah, it can be any genre. It just has to be about stabbings in the streets.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I think it was like, at that point, I was like, that's why you work here. You're like some sort of Dorian Gray type character. You've got a fucking painting in the attic of this place, haven't you? Yeah, I think that's what that was. We went to see the astronomical clock, which is like this it's a really old clock, basically, and it looks really pretty, and it tracks time in various different ways. It's on this like building, and every hour it dongs, and like it does like a show with the statues like that's around it, like do some moving and stuff like that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
We like that. We tried some traditional Czech food. I had some goulash. It's basically beef stew. It's like spiced beef stew, but I had it in a bread bowl as well. That was delicious. Liked that a lot. It was really cool being there at Easter because there was this Easter market going on, which was pretty cool. And I ended up getting some Slovakian mead, which is going to be good at Midsummer. So I'll save that, and you can have a sip of that and taste it at Midsummer.
So you've not tried it yet?
No, I'm saving it for Midsummer because it doesn't last particularly long, mead. So yeah, I'm going to keep it covered and do that. We went to a Lego museum. It was basically just a massive collection of Lego.
Now we're talking.
To be honest, it wasn't very good. It was a big collection of Lego, and there was lots of stuff, but I kind of like expected some bigger models. You know,
you've been fucking spoiled by Warhammer World. That's what it is.
That is what it is.
Yeah. You've peered into my fucking world, and now it's like nothing compares.
But the thing is, like, they had a whole section for Star Wars Lego, which you'd expect, but it wasn't massive, and it didn't have any models. In fact, I think it had one model from the new trilogy. Nothing from like The Mandalorian. They didn't. I've literally got a Star Wars Lego model on my windowsill right now that they didn't have there. You know, the BB-8.
Yeah, the ball. Yeah.
You know, so I was kind of like, oh, it just obviously not been updated in many years. Like, as in Marvel Legos are massive now. They didn't even they had Marvel Lego in there, but it was just like a shelf. You know, it wasn't. It wasn't very much of it, so it was good though. I did like. I mean, I liked Lego, so that was fun. But
is that it then? Is Czech Republic off your list to move now because the Lego Museum
not good enough?
Yeah.
No, we went to the biggest hard rock cafe in Europe. It was quite big. It just had 4 floors. Okay. You bugged out a sec then, and all you said was,
Nice. No, I said in the Czech Republic, the biggest hard rock cafes in the Czech Republic?
In Europe. The biggest one in Europe.
It's just, okay. It's just weird that it's there.
I guess. I think it's just because it's quite tall. It's got 4 floors, the building. The actual floor space isn't massive. It's kind of big, but that was fun. We had cocktails there and stuff like that. My mum paid for most of this, so it's quite good. We had a panoramic bus tour of Prague. So you sat on this bus and you can see 360 round you, and it is honestly, it's a gorgeous city. Just kind of hearing some of the history and looking at all these pretty buildings is kind of the main appeal of it. To be honest, it's really nice.
I'm gonna sound like so uninformed because I am. Whereabouts is it? What's it next to?
Slap up Google Maps. Okay. And, have a look. It's next to Slovakia because it used to be Czechoslovakia, which you might be a bit more familiar with as a name. But then they decided that they want to be different countries. And there's now the Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Oh, there it is.
But I think they might have also been part of Russia at one point. I'm not fully sure. Even though I was there. It's called
maybe
like
because
Czechia
Poland. Was Poland once part of Russia because it's below Poland? So
I don't know.
Maybe,
but yeah, we were a lot closer to Ukraine, which nowadays isn't the best thing to be at the minute. We're only one country away from Ukraine, but we were plenty far away. Don't worry. But the UK is even further away. We got like Slovakia, Czechia, Germany, Belgium, all of those in the way.
Listen, the French start taking bullets before we do, so we're all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's we did that. What else did we do? It was kind of weird because we'd be going on this bus tour and they'd say like, oh, and this is a statue of the famous such and such, Piotr Mitrkov or whatever, and I'd be like, oh. I ain't got a fucking clue who that is. Like, I didn't know anyone, like any of the famous people there, and I think it's because it's kind of insulated. They've got their own history, and I'm sure that these famous people like are very famous there, and I'm sure that they've made a massive impact on history. But it's just like a history we don't get. We don't hear about it. Like, for example. London, we've got like the Great Fire of London, there was a slave trade, kings and queens. Spain, you've got like classic bullfighters. France, you've got the French Revolution. Italy, you've got the Mafia and the Roman Empire. Russia, you've got like, Putin and things like that. America, there's the Civil War and things like that. And Scandinavia, you've got Vikings and all of that sort of thing.
We don't talk about Germany's.
No, yeah, well, you know what Germany's is. But what I'm saying is lots of countries have, like, a history that, like, the rest of the world knows a bit about. Like, ancient China, all of these things. Mongolia has one, with Genghis Khan. Czechoslovakia, or Czechia, Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Go on, what is it?
No, I couldn't tell you.
That's my point. That's my point. It's just not... It's not any less important for that. It's just weird that we don't hear it. There is a really famous artist that's from there called Muka, and you would probably recognize like some of his work. It's Art Nouveau. It inspired all of that.
Okay.
If you want to look up Art Nouveau or Muka, if you look up Art Nouveau, it basically comes up with his work. And there was a museum.
Art Nouveau.
Yes. Nouveau spelled Nouveau.
I got it.
So
I've got it.
We went to a museum for that guy because it's my mum's favourite artist. And it was quite interesting seeing all his stuff. But to be honest, it was similar to the architecture in that there was so many really nice pieces of art that by the end of it, it kind of like... You kind of lost how special it was because there was so much of it. So by the end of it, it was you're kind of like null to this really nice, beautiful art. And it was the same with the architecture. There was so many beautiful buildings around this city that like you'd be walking around like and the most beautiful palace is right next to you. You just don't give a shit because like there's another one to the left of you and another one after a few more steps.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. That museum was pretty cool. We liked that.
Yeah. So Prague, all I'm hearing so far is get some better history and stop acting so damn fancy.
No, it's the opposite.
That's what I'm hearing.
The history's cool and it's a really fancy place. Why has no one told me about this? It's
Prague,
like that.
I'm looking at all these pictures. I'm looking at all these pictures, and I've not even seen a single goddamn McDonald's yet. I've not seen a single one
McDonald's,
anywhere.
Actually, it was pretty good.
I'm seeing a statue of a monkey with his balls out.
We, Schlur, the drink Schlur.
No, that sounds like a made-up drink from Futurama or something.
No, that's Slurm. That is really close. Well, it's like non-alcoholic wine. It's like grape juice.
Yeah.
But not. When you get like a grape flavored thing from America, it's not like that. It's like actually tastes like grapes rather than their shit that doesn't taste like grapes.
Yeah.
And they basically serve that at McDonald's as well. You'd get like horses and carriages and fancy cars going round. We had a beer in this really old beer hall that was pretty cool. And this man came round and went, "You want this as well? It's Czech alcohol." And we were like, oh. Okay. So we had a shot of that. It was like slightly better gin, but not amazing.
And then your vision started to go funny, and you're like, I don't think that guy even works here.
There was loads of really nice stuff, but nothing that I think is particularly interesting to people. We went to a botanical garden. We saw a butterfly house. It was just like a generally nice holiday. There's not much to say, really, other than I probably ate too much food and got too fat to say I'm supposed to be running 12k soon.
Nice.
But
cool.
Don't worry, yesterday I ran 2.3 kilometers, so I'm getting there.
All right. Yeah.
So that's Prague. That's Prague. It was just a nice holiday. It's a nice place. Would recommend. There was only one other weird thing that happened. We were coming home like about 10 p.m. And we were walking up the staircase, and there was a guy. He would have been like 60, like my height, and tiny bit fatter than me. Okay. And you were just kind of like stood at the top of the staircase. It was kind of like not a spiral staircase, but like a spiral that goes in a square.
Okay, yeah.
And you were just kind of stood at one of the tops of these things, kind of like next to the wall, just like smiling. On his own. He was just stood there. And we all kind of just walked past him, and he like smiled at us as we... There was no reason for him to be there.
All right, okay.
And we all walked past him, and everyone walked past, and I kind of just got to the top of the next set of stairs and kind of peeked down to see like if he was still there. He was just looking at a wall, smiling. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fucking lock this door.
Lock? Okay, all right, that's weird.
That was it. Then nothing happened. I don't know. I think he was probably fine, but I don't know. Right, Judd, choose your own podcast adventure. Do you want to hear about my rant and arguments with people on Reddit, or do you want me to tell you how before marriage Mormons pretend they're not shagging?
What? Okay, you said that like such a fucking freak. That one, the Mormon one.
I'm the freak. Judd, the Mormons are the freaks. I recently found out. Can we say that? Can we say that?
I don't know if you can say that.
If you're a Mormon, tweet at Tweets Badly and let us know that we've offended you. I recently found out that they do this thing and it's called soaking.
Oh, I don't like this.
You glanced at your camera then like, oh no. And this is where, oh God, the before marriage couple will put penis in vagina and that's it. No thrusting. Okay. Because then that's seen as having sex. So they'll put it in and just kind of leave it there. And that's it.
Right.
What do you think of that so far? Because there's more to it, but so far, what we're thinking.
What the I don't... What does that accomplish?
I don't know.
What does that accomplish? Because then you're just good, there. But then you're just there. You just go, right. Fun time was had by all.
I suppose if you've never seen a naked lady at all, and you're like 22...
Yeah.
You could do that and come, potentially. Like, you know, if you never like masturbated or anything and that happens, I don't know, maybe it feels great for someone who's been so deprived for so long.
It's just bizarre. I just can't see why. I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, they have sex, like they have full sex, and then I don't know, they fucking do some wacky shit. But they're not even. I mean, they're not even really having sex, are they? They're just...
Well, that's the point, because they're not technically having sex in their eyes. But I think sex is defined as penis entering vagina. So yeah, I think like dictionary definition, they are. But like their religion definition, I don't think that counts. I think that's how they see it.
I think they're sinners and they're gonna go to hell, is what I think.
I think so too. I think the other loophole, I'm not sure about this one though, is just to do it in the ass.
Yeah.
But I think that might be seen as like sodomy, so they might not do that one. I actually don't know if they do that or not. But here's the other step, right? Another thing that they might do as part of this is they might do this while a group of friends is present, so that all the friends can like shake the bed about so that it's not them thrusting, and then they get some like friction going on.
What the fuck? I mean, that's essentially at that point that's assisted masturbation, which I'm also sure the church frowns upon. So
Probably,
yeah, it's. Just have sex. Just do it. Like just at that point, just have sex. Like, you're obviously going against like your church and your religion. Just do it at that point. Like it's one degree of separation that like is so paper thin it doesn't matter at all. Just do it. Just have sex.
So you're not likely to try soaking anytime soon, then?
No, and that's such a weird name for it as well. Soaking.
Well, it's because you like soaking your dick in the juices.
God, fucking Mormons are nasty. I'm gonna ask him the next time if one ever comes to my house, I'm gonna be like, look, all right, this soaking business. Why would a Mormon
just come to your house?
We've had Mormons come to the house before.
Do they? I thought that's Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting them mixed up. What did Jehovah's Witnesses do?
Yeah. You know, next time Jehovah's Witnesses do come to your house, you should be like, oh, okay, yeah, I actually do have an important question for you, because I've heard about the Mormons doing this thing, right?
I'd be like, guys, fucking listen to what those Mormon freaks do. Listen.
And then you're going to be like, do you guys do anything like that? You going to hear that going on? Because I'm interested.
And he's soaking. Chilling, you know, whatever the fuck you call it.
That's the way you do it, but it's in a fridge. You just stand in a big fridge and do that. So that's that as well. All right, last but not least, Judd. This is a big one, right?
Okay.
Because I feel attacked.
Oh, geez.
This is to do with, right, I've been trying another attempt at trying to get to Masters on Apex Legends.
Oh, why?
I ask myself that every day. Yeah. My attempt is on PlayStation this time, because I've got a theory that it's easier on console than it is on PC.
Okay.
So far, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it is or not. It potentially is. I'm not sure. People seem to die quicker, which kind of helps. I don't know. But what I'm very confused about is nobody uses their microphone, and we're talking in ranked. What's your thoughts on like microphones, ranked games, multiplayer?
See, the thing is, I hate it. I hate doing it. Like, I hate talking to other people, unless they're people I know. Like, if it's mates, then yeah, I'll do it, whatever. But no, if you are going into ranked, in a team-based game, then it only makes sense to use comms. But you know, I'd never do it because I'd hate that. That's why you don't see me doing ranked games. You know.
Exactly my point. So, that's why if you really don't like it, then I'm not going to do it. Then don't play the game. Don't play the mode. Then you know, you don't have to. So I asked on the Apex subreddit about mic on PlayStation/console because they tend to get Xbox and PlayStation kind of get shoved together more often.
Yeah.
And the reason I was asking was because nobody had said anything. So I'm thinking like maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe there's some setting I'm missing or something like that because there's an inbuilt microphone in the controllers for all these consoles. There's an inbuilt microphone on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. I'm pretty sure there's an inbuilt microphone. So there's no excuse. I know everyone's got a microphone, okay?
Yeah.
In lower ranks, like bronze rank or whatever, I kind of just think maybe they're new, too shy, stuff like that. Maybe they don't understand that it's so important yet.
Yeah.
I can maybe give a pass there.
I was just going to say it also isn't really that important there, is it? Like, it
isn't, unless that's like the rank you're at. If you are a new player and everything and you're wanting to rank up, then, it's going to help massively, as it would everywhere. But I guess I can figure it out there. I'm well past that now. Like, massively past that point.
Yeah.
So I asked about this, basically being like, why does no one talk on console? It's literally the biggest game changer you can do. It's literally the thing that makes the most difference by a long way. It's better than being able to shoot people. Like, if I have a teammate that'll tell me where other players are and give me information, if I had to choose between them doing that or shooting their gun, I'd pick that. I'd pick the communication. Yeah. It's that important. This will apply to other games as well. But so I wanted to go through some of the responses I got, starting from worst to best. Okay.
Okay.
So the worst response was because nobody wants to talk to you at all. And this was the first comment I got, and I was like, "What? Why the fuck why are you doing me like that? Why have you just come into this space being like so fucking hostile?" So my response to that is, don't play competitive team games then. If you don't want to speak to someone, don't play competitive team games. And I say competitive specifically because ranked is a competitive mode. If you want to play the standard mode, not ranked, and literally any other mode than that one, I don't give a shit if you use your microphone or not. And then their responses to me saying that was, don't complain about people not using mics then. What?
What?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I got pissed off at them and told them they're being like way too fucking hostile, and I'm going to complain about it as much as I want because it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I didn't frame it exactly like that, but I don't want to read out everything that was said. I'm going to go down some of these other ones now. This is what someone else said. They said, I learnt it's not worth the aggravation with 99% of randoms. I found that if people have mics, they didn't spell all this, by the way, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. They'll do what they want regardless of voice call-outs or pings. With myself muted, I don't have to worry about filtering myself, and with them muted, I don't have to deal with the vast majority of people who are horrible at using voice comms. What do you think of this?
Well, it sounds like somebody who doesn't really give a fuck, to be honest. So
yeah, and that's my problem. Like, if you don't care, don't play ranked then. Don't go into ranked with I don't give a shit, because then you're ruining other people's games. It's a team fucking game. Trust me, I would love it to be solo. I'd love there to be a solos ranked, but there isn't.
Isn't there?
No. There was a solos mode in Apex in Season 2 for like 2 weeks. Okay. And that's it. Never been any solos mode since.
Right.
It's just stupid, to be honest. I'm not, it's a different debate, but so I said it sounds like people are sabotaging their own games then. Because communication is a huge part of the game. If people try and get along and work as a team, everyone benefits. Now, immediately, not worth the aggravation. What do you mean it's not worth the aggravation? You will literally do better in the game if you use your microphone. It's just proven. They'll do what they want regardless of voice call-outs or pings. They might do, but they're more likely to do what they should do if you're working together and talking about what you want to do. The likelihood of them doing something decent is still massively low, but it's going to be way more likely if you fucking talk to each other, okay?
Yeah.
And then they say, with myself muted, I don't have to worry about filtering myself. What are you talking about, filtering yourself? You play the game, just tell them stuff about the game. You don't have to have your mic unmuted the entire time. I unmute it when I want to talk. And then I mute it the rest of the time.
But if he doesn't constantly filter himself, what if he says the N-word?
Well, there you go. Who knows? Maybe that's what they're actually worried about, but they don't want to admit it. And they don't. And if they mute others, they don't have to deal with the vast majority of people who are horrible at using voice comms. Horrible voice comms is better than no voice comms.
Yeah,
it's something. So it's just. So then they're like, people don't and aren't. What? But people don't, and they aren't nothing to be done about it. What the fuck are you on about? I'd rather maximize my enjoyment of the game with what I can control. Okay. But then then their solution is part of the problem. So the solution to it is muting people so that they don't have to deal with all of this and not talking so they don't have to deal with it all. But then that's part of the problem, because then no one can fucking deal with it. You know, no one can fucking speak, no one can do anything. So I said that, like, that's part of the problem. For enjoyment, chilling and shooting in pubs and things like that is fine. But in ranked, it's not fair to others to not try your best. This is part of it as well. It's not even just a selfish thing. You've got other people on your team. Yeah. So if you're not trying your best, that's a big fuck you to them. And that's not fair at all. That's just being a shitty person. And then this same person, this is the biggest back and forth I had with someone, so it's not all going to be this long. But then they tried to say that they give the best effort in ranked. How can they be giving the best effort in ranked if they're not communicating? One of the excuses that people say a lot, which this person said, is you can ping things. You can use the ping system. Yes, you can. And you should. But that's not good enough. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and even if you think it's good enough, you could have even better by using your voice. It's like, why? Why would you settle for that when you can just speak? You literally do it every day. It's things humans do. It's so easy, and it's so much better. So why would you purposely use a worse form of communication? Oh my god. And they tried to say that using voice comms doesn't help at all with the average random teammate, and it makes the game less fun for them. That's just bollocks. To say that it doesn't help with the average random teammate, it helps more with random teammates, because you've never played with them before, so you don't know what each other's going to do, so you have to communicate different ideas. Really obvious. If it makes the game less fun for you, well, maybe you'd have more fun playing a different game, or a different game mode. And if you're more bothered about playing the game for fun, and you find this sort of thing less fun, maybe you don't want to play this then. So, you know, they're trying to say that the normal game mode is just team deathmatch with extra steps and no respawning. So,
yeah,
that's not an excuse either. So, I don't know. What else does this one say? They try and say ranked mode is for fun. Ranked isn't fun if you're not ranking up, is another point that I just... and not doing your best isn't going to do that. Like, if you're hopping into ranked and you just lose points every single game, that's not... You know, some people might say, oh yeah, I will still have fun. Come on, don't be... You know. Yeah, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but come on. You know. And then that's enough on that one anyway. I'll move on to the next one. Another one said, because the majority of the player base is toxic, especially to women, or so it seems like it, so easier to just play with all comms off at this point. I know some good people end up muted that way, but it's just too many problem players. What's your thoughts on this one, Judd?
Well, I do hate women.
That's a joke. It's a joke. It's not even a good joke. To be honest, I think that this is an over-exaggerated problem. I don't think people harass as much as people seem to think they do. I think that when people do harass each other through voice comms for like reasons such as being a woman, it stands out a lot because it's not nice. And doing that is a fucking stupid thing to do. It's a shitty thing to do. People definitely should not be harassing people for being a woman or some other people said being a minority and things like that. And definitely do not harass people. That I want to make that very clear. That is very shitty. And that is the main problem, really. But I still don't think that's a good enough excuse to not talk to people. Because that might happen 1 in every 10 games. And that means that 9 out of 10 games, you're at a huge disadvantage because one game, someone's going to tell you to get back in the kitchen. You know, if that happened, mute that guy.
And it's gonna be me.
God. My point with that is mute that guy then.
Yeah.
You know, but don't mute literally how 18 other people that you'd be playing with. You know, they might not be nice people, but they might be decent enough. You've been matched in this game. You all want to win the game, right? You're all on the same team. You want your team to win. So more often than not, people are going to want to try and work together. So I don't understand that. So I've said not using mics feeds into that. The reason why it feeds into that is because if more people heard more voices in the game, then they're more likely to be used to it. If you're a decent player and you comm decently on microphones, and if the more people that do that, regardless of where they're from or who they are, the more everyone else is just going to do that. The more people are going to respect each other. If you don't speak to each other and throw games and are shit at the game for it, more people are going to be pissed off at you and not like you. Because you want to win the game. That's the whole point of playing the game. People don't really give a shit otherwise. So that's the other that's the other thing. Video games aren't the only place people suck. It's the whole world. You know? Like, you know, if you're that bothered about people saying stuff to you, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do with your life? The world is like that bad. It's all that bad everywhere. So, you know, so it just makes things even harder. So you've got some other people saying it doesn't feed into that. And they don't even understand what it even means. Well, that's what it means. In that if you don't use your mic, people are not going to like you even less. Without a mic, people don't know we're women. How is anyone ever going to have an opportunity to be decent and actually use the mic for good if you're not using it as well? You know? Dealing with harassment and threats makes it 100% harder. Dealing with harassment and threats and throwing teammates makes it 100% harder to play the game than just not using a mic in the first place. No. No, it doesn't. Listen, if you don't use a mic at all, you're going to have no communication, you're going to be all over the place, it's going to be bad. Okay? If you use a mic, right, 2 things could happen. 1, teammates might also use a mic, and then you've got better communication, and you'll play better. It might not solve all your problems, but you'll play at least a bit better. The other option is, they start saying, oh, what are you, a fucking woman? Blah, and then you mute them, and then you're back at square one, and it's no worse than it was to start with. So, it's not harder. And they're also saying randoms aren't going to start using a mic just because you made a post ranting about it. I wasn't ranting. That's not my point. I'm like, I was like, is there something on console that's different, which means I can't hear people? I was looking for some setting. I was like, have I got my PS5's audio turned up or something? That's what I was asking. I didn't mean start some sort of political debate, you know? They say join a group or a Discord and make friends to play with if you can't win without comms. If you can't win without comms. You can't win without comms, you fucking idiot! No one can! Acting like it's me that can't win without comms. He's fucking everyone that can't. Anyway, so that's that one. Joining a group and finding like a pre-made team to play with is a point that comes up later on in probably the best comments left about this. Right, how about this one, Judd? If you're a minority like me, you don't need to say it was you. You could have said if you're a minority. You get harassed for your voice, so no thank you. Randoms don't listen to anything I say anyway. A lot of people are also in a party or auto-mute every game, so it's really not worth the effort while solo queuing.
Well, what I have to say to that is how funny is your voice?
Yeah, if your voice sounds like this, then I'm gonna make fun of it because it's too funny.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I've played well over 3,000 hours of this game, and I've definitely never made fun of someone's voice myself, whether they're foreign or not. But also, I've literally never heard anyone else make fun of someone's voice. I'm in over 3,000 hours. How many days is that? It's like 3,100 hours. It's literally 130 days straight. 130 days straight, and I've never come across that. That's not to say it doesn't happen, but so, you know, it's the same thing. Mute them then. Mute those ones. And it can't be common. It can't be every game. Because again, people are on the same team. They want to win the game. If it was common, I would have at least come across it a little bit before. This goes for the sexism thing as well, with women getting harassed on the game. I've barely ever come across any women. Maybe they're muted, but I have come across in my 3,000 hours maybe about 10. And none of them have had anything, even a mention of the fact that they were women. Or at least, I actually don't even know if they're women. They sounded feminine. Not even mentioned once.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's like anecdotal, but that's a lot of hours. And that's a lot of evidence at that point, you know? So I just don't think it's that prevalent. So it just sounds like an excuse to me. So, yeah. So there's that. And then they also say a lot of people are in a party or auto-mute every game. So basically, like, some people are duo queuing, and you queue with a duo, and they are speaking to each other, but then they're not speaking
to
anything you can hear. So, for a start, as I've said to this person, I don't understand how it's not worth the effort. It's literally the biggest thing that makes a difference. I also think that if people are duo queuing, then they should use the in-game comms and speak to their third as well. There's 3 players, and if everyone's on the same page and if everyone's talking, that's a big difference. So, I don't know, man. I just don't think that's a good enough excuse either. I still think you should talk to each other. Everyone should talk to each other in the team game. In that scenario, it's more than just like... It's more than just the randoms that are at the problem. It's the people who are matched up as well. So this same person says, why should I bother spending the considerable energy to overcome my crippling social anxiety just to be greeted with silence, commit game end yourselves, slurs, raw misogyny, and rebellion? Good lord. The reason why you should... Rebellion!
Yeah, Jesus.
Wow. The Rebel Alliance.
Lord Vader. They are making fun of my gamer tag.
Oh, God. My answer to that is, if you don't then. You don't have to. Don't play ranked then. You don't have to do it. But that's what it takes. That's all part of a ranked experience. It's doing the best you can. You're
still laughing at I'm still laughing at rebellion.
If you've got such crippling social anxiety, right, that's a big deal to you, and you're trying to play this game to relax or have fun, don't do it then. Don't play ranked, because it's stressful. It's enjoyable if you succeed, but it's stressful. So don't, or learn to get over it. Use it as an opportunity to get over this stuff. And, the more people that talk in a better way and don't do this shit and mute, the less people are the less of an environment it's gonna be for all these shitty things. And also, you don't have to listen to those things if you mute. If you are greeted with that, which, by the way, I very rarely get greeted with, it's actually genuinely not that bad. And I'm genuinely the one who starts flaming people, if I'm being honest. Honestly, people do stupid shit in game and it pisses me off. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But then you can just mute them. Why should I sacrifice so much for online strangers who 99 out of 100 times wouldn't do the same for me for the 5 to 15 minutes I'm with them? The reason why is because you're trying to win the fucking game in the ranked experience. That's what you're doing. That's why. And if that's so much, don't do it then. Either it's worth it to do everything you can to try and win and rank up, or it's not worth it and don't play that mode. Simple. Fucking hell. Saying Apex ping system is developed enough to convey what I need to. No. I bought a super cheap USB mouse and keyboard bundle just to use keyboard to type stuff like Bloodhound's cracked alone. Fucking, you cannot tell me. Right, okay, here's the difference in those two things, right?
Yeah.
This is what it's like if I'm using my voice and doing that. Bloodhound's cracked, he's on his own. That's that. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what happens if I'm doing their method. That done. Come on. You have to stand still for all of that as well.
You've just been killed by a second team while you've been stood there typing the fucking mess. Yeah.
You cannot tell me that is that's anywhere near as good. And to try and say the ping systems are developed enough, right? You can say, the things you can say with ping is go there, I'm going there, enemy there, an enemy has been there, I'm going to loot here, I'm going to defend here, I'm going to watch here. Those are there might be a couple other things, but that's basically it. How am I going to use that to say, okay, that team's on the edge of the zone. When the zone comes in, they're going to have to move first. We need to focus them and then turn our attention to this one behind us because we're going to have to take their spot in a second, okay? Go on, what's your series of pings for that? Are you going to ping that 1,000 times, It doesn't work! I already have a problem, right, with the fact that in Europe, there's so many people who speak so many different languages that a language barrier is quite difficult to deal with. That's a bit more of just like a world thing, there's not really anyone to blame for that so much, so I don't mind. But that's already a problem. So, trying to say that ping systems, it just doesn't work. They say, cry team game all you want, but no one plays it that way. Well, I know that's my problem. They should. What's that adding? Okay. Okay, keep going. We're nearly there. Okay, because 99% of randoms are trash-talking pieces of shit. I'm kind, and the amount of times people comment how it's so different being on mic with someone that's not an asshole is astounding. Plus, some people have anxiety on mic. What do we think of this?
I don't know. Do you have anxiety about Mike? I think he's a pretty cool guy.
And I like that you keep adding a little joke. It's keeping me going. Look, right, it's not 99%. 99% of the time, if you're on microphone, you're talking about the game because that's all people give a shit about. And yes, a lot of the time, you're going to come across people who are dickheads. Yeah, that's life. What are you going to do about it? That's the world. People are shit. What do you want me to do about it? That doesn't mean that muting your mic's any better. It's definitely worse. And you've just said that lots of times people are surprised and happy that you're being good on the microphone. You're nice on the microphone. So if that's happening lots of times, surely lots of times they're not being an ass as well. So it doesn't add up. Plus, some people have anxiety on mic. Again, like, listen, for example, for starters, it's not reasonable to be scared about using a microphone in a team game. That's not a reasonable fear. In the same way that it's a phobia, as in, fear of, I don't know, going outside. There's people who have fear of going outside.
Yeah.
Not a reasonable fear, is it? You know? Even like being afraid of heights to a certain extent, that's seen as a phobia. You know, it's something that you shouldn't be worried about, but you're scared about it, you know? You're scared of roller coasters. It's not really something you should be scared of. It's a fun thing, but people get scared of them, okay? That's not a good enough excuse, you know? It's a drastically unreasonable fear. You know, it's something that, yeah, it might be scary, yeah, it might be hard to deal with. I fully understand. I've dealt with a lot of awful anxiety myself, and I've never let it stop me. It's nor should anyone else. It's not a difficult thing. It's not a scary thing. It's something it's an opportunity to get over something and get better at talking to people. And it might be difficult. It might take a long time, but avoiding the issue, it's not the right thing to do. Yes, it might not be right to spend so much effort into overcoming anxiety just to be able to talk in a game, but if you're overcoming that anxiety, it's not just going to be helpful in a game. It's going to be helpful in so many more scenarios. What are you going to do at work when you have a Teams meeting? You know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a bit more... I understand. It's a bit more understandable, but it's not a good excuse still. So, get into the best comments that I had. So, this one person said, a lot of people are duo queuing using console party chat. They can't hear what you say and can't talk to you. So I said that makes sense, but I think you should still use in-game audio because talking as a whole team is the best chance to win. This person's said people just don't care. Honestly, go on a looking for group subreddit or something like this to find a team to play with. It's the only way to not lose your shit while playing. This is a fair enough comment, right? What do you think so far?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think it's the whole making friends thing, isn't it? That's like, not everybody can do it. Not everybody can just go and make friends.
It's kind of hard in the first place to do that. And if you think about it as well, you've then got to find someone who's a similar sort of rank to you, plays different characters to you so you don't overlap, has a similar play style so that it gels. They have to speak the same language as you. They have to be of a similar age, so that's not weird as well. And then you have to be in the same sort of time zone. You know, there's all sorts of things that have to happen. So, one sec. Alexa, activate stream mode. I've not had my lights on this whole time. So already that's so many things to line up.
Yeah.
And another thing that I've said, while this is a perfectly fine point, and I think this is probably the best advice to give to someone in this situation. Well, actually, I actually wasn't looking for any. I was actually looking for a technical fault, is what I was looking for in the first place. Again, just reminding of that.
This is why I fucking hate Reddit. This is why I never use Reddit, because it's like I came on here for technical advice, and now I'm fucking here debating gender politics. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But so what I responded to that is, if people don't care, don't play ranked. I can't understand any other attitude. If you don't care about winning the game and ranking up, don't play ranked. That's what the mode's about. Don't do it then. So I said finding a group's a good way to sort that out, but obviously, for starters, it's really hard to find a group to play with. It genuinely is. There's millions of players, but it's really hard to find a good group to play with. The other problem for me is I don't have consistent times that I can play. So if I find two people to play with, and they might say, like, oh, well, let's play, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then in the evening, and then kind of like, you know, for 4 hours on Saturday and Sunday. I can't do that. I don't know if I'm going to be available. I often don't know if I'm going to be available until that evening itself. So that's the problem with finding a group to play with. I don't consistently have a time that I can play the game. So, I can't just find a team and then never have a point where our schedules line up and things like that. So that's a big problem as well. Although, I said that too, but I do acknowledge that maybe that's overthinking it, because maybe it's worth just finding lots of people who are looking for groups to play with, and then if they're online, just joining them and asking if they're willing to play ranked when I'm ready. Maybe that's better, and I might try that out eventually. But this is the best discourse we've had so far, and this person's like, "Nah, I get you. I don't like teaming up for half an hour or so as well." So they're like, "Yeah."
This is the best discourse we've had about a problem that I never wanted an answer to.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, solo queue is tough, especially on console. You can rant. I wasn't ranting again. I was looking for a setting or something.
Because everybody immediately just thinks that you're ranting about something when you go on to fucking say, it's like, "Hey guys, my TV remote for the Samsung XL 2023 isn't working." It's like, "Oh, all right, so you do support the Labour Party then, huh?" It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
God damn it, Reddit. But this, you can rant, but it won't get you anywhere. Either find a group to play with, or adapt to randoms, or stop playing ranked. That's what I did. And my only response to that was, that's fair enough. Those are all fair comments. Those are the options, right? We've got there. After all those other cunts, we've got there. Either you have to deal with it because people are shit. Yeah. You can try and find a group to play with, but that might not be possible either. Or don't play it. Those are the only options. Fine then. Good. I just wanted to know. So that's why I said all fair comments. I guess I was just hoping for some sort of nicer answer that doesn't involve people just being bad. If it was some technical fault, that would feel better. Oh, God. So all of that. There was another comment. So someone said, "Ever since switching to PS5, my in-game comms don't work. If I don't have a headset, I have all audio output through HDMI. The in-game comms are not there." So then someone else commented, "They all come through the controller. It's a bad setup on Apex/PlayStation's part." So I was like, oh, right. So I said, people speaking on their mics comes through the controller audio jack and not with the rest of the game audio. Is that what you're trying to say? No, through the controller's speaker. So the PS5 controller has a speaker on it.
Yeah.
So if someone else is talking in game, it comes through the controller.
That's so weird.
So that's what they were saying. And I was, to be honest, I was thinking, no way. Yeah. No fucking way. So I earlier I thought, well, I've got it on PC and I've got it on PlayStation. I'll log into my account on PC. I'll log into my account on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk through my mic on PC and see if it comes through the controller.
Yeah.
Came through the fucking controller.
So weird. Why would they have it fucking designed like that?
I don't know. But also,
bizarre.
Why didn't someone just tell me that? Why didn't they just tell me that? That's why I've not been able to hear anyone.
That's the actual reason.
Yes!
Oh my God!
So we got there. I played for about 3 hours, and not a single person was muted. Everyone was speaking.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch!
There's a bit of another problem where, because on console, people just don't use push to talk or anything. They leave the microphones open the whole time, so you can hear fucking people's kids in background going, yeah, and all sorts. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining any further.
Don't fucking rant any further, you with your fucking rants.
The problem is, it doesn't even show the icon. Because on Apex, there's like an icon next to people's name, and it shows a little microphone if they've got a microphone, and then it the microphone lights up if they're speaking, if audio's coming through their microphone. That icon, neither of those icons are even there unless you plug your headset into the controller's audio jack.
Yeah.
So all that someone needed to do was say, you have to plug a headset into the audio jack of your controller to see if people are speaking. That's all they needed to say. But instead, I had to deal with all this abuse about whether people should be muted or not. Fucking hell. So
Great.
at least we got there in the end. To be honest, there is some people who still don't speak, and it would be useful, but a lot more people do speak, and there's still the problem of the language barrier, which is a shame, but that's no one's fault. So again, I'm not going to complain too much about that. Although one side note on that, if you are playing, if your first language isn't English and you're playing a competitive online game in Europe, you should probably just speak English, because that's the one everyone at least speaks a little bit of. You know, I'm biased because it's my language, and I don't really know enough of any other ones. I could maybe get by with Swedish. I could maybe speak enough Swedish to speak. If the vast majority of Europe spoke Swedish, I would start with Swedish. Put it that way. I'd speak to people in Swedish on comms, or I'd at least ask if everyone speaks English or something like that. You know. When you're in a trio and then someone comes on with "Je peux le faire tutoyer," you know, like, and it's like, buddy, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure the other random teammate who's not from France and is from fucking the Czech Republic they don't know either. So you know, I get it, but it's not. It doesn't work as well. You know, no, it doesn't work as well. So, wow. I feel better having gotten that off my chest. This Saturday, tune in to Twitch, Streamers Badly on Twitch and YouTube, because we are watching fights. Big fights going down. Creator Clash 2 is happening. Saturday the 15th. We will probably be live all evening, basically. I don't know when it starts, but it's a later one, Judd. It's not it doesn't go on while like mega late, like it's not like a 5-6 a.m. But I think it might start at 10 p.m. and it might finish at like 2 a.m. Might be one of those ones.
Oh, damn.
Because it's in Florida, it's still in America.
Yeah.
It's not in the UK or anything like that, but
what I might do then is, instead of coming over, because I can't drink either, I might like try and have like a sleep, or like, you know, like in the afternoon, and then maybe come over for like, did you say it starts at 10?
I'm not sure. Well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast.
Okay.
We're going to figure that out. But tune in on Saturday. It will be live from a similar sort of time. We'll at least be live from around, I don't know, fucking 6 p.m. maybe. We'll figure it out. At Tweets Badly. Follow Tweets Badly on Twitter to find out the details. I'll tweet it out. All right. End of podcast. Say do an outro, Judd. Do your famous outro saying. The one you always do. Okay. Right. Get off my back. Right. That's what I said. Right. Okay. We're done. Right. What's next? Let me look this shit up. Creator Clash 2 start time. Okay. Okay, so it's on 15th of April. Start time 9. So I would say if you could be round for like 7.
Yeah.
And we could start early as possible from there. We can eat here if you want. We can order pizza or something.
Yeah.
And you can stay over because it might go on while late. You might want to drive. You might not want to drive back.
Yeah.
So we'll do that then.
Okay. Cool.
Nice. So I'm sure you can have like a tiny taste of whiskey, right?
I'm not. My heart can explode.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
literally just like a thimble's worth.
No.
Just a
What's
taste.
what's the point though?
For a taste test video, it's my fancy whiskey.
I don't think I'm gonna risk my life for a taste test video.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Okay, fine. I might do that one on my own then. We'll see. Or I might just save it for a special occasion. Any stuff to rate before I have to get back to this solo queue grind?
No, I don't think I've got anything. No.
What you been watching with your Nana and Granddad?
Well, we're watching Barry. Because we just finished watching Better Call Saul because they'd not watched it. So now we're watching Barry. So
I watched another episode of Barry. I'm still not
watched...
many into it. Again, I think I'm only 3 episodes in. I don't even know if I've even watched a 4th episode. So I'm not sure that's enough to rate it. Currently, it's looking at something like 65 for me. I think maybe give it to the end of the season. Maybe even give it to the end of next season, but whatever. Oh no! After 1 season, I will rate it, but then I reserve the right to change it after other seasons.
Okay.
Video games? You played any games?
No, I've only played those that I've played with Dalton, and I'm pretty sure I know I can add Worms to the collection. I can add Worms Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Actually, this might already be on here because I might have done it when I played it with Tom and everybody. So it might actually be on here.
Worms Armageddon.
Yes. A Worms apocalypse, if you will.
No, there's only Worms 3D on here.
Okay. Worms Armageddon then. I'd give it a 68.
Okay. 68.
Worms is fun. Every Worms is fun as well.
Yeah, you're not going to get a bad Worms game, are you?
Yeah. Even though the Worms 3D one was weird, it was still fun. It was still Worms.
Yeah, that's the only one I played, really.
And it was fun. It was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Worms is like FIFA. It's like, I don't gotta play this one to this one's not gonna be like, oh my god, they've totally changed. It's a Worms game.
Yeah.
I think that's it, though.
80 overall from critics, 77 from audiences, and 87 from IGN. When did it come out? June 1999.
Yep. We do love some Worm.
And it's made by Team 17.
They're like the Worms company. They're the games company that makes Worms.
Why don't they just change the name to the Worms Company?
The Worm Co.
Worm Co.
Worm Co. Worms are us.
Oh my god! So I can't get over how shitty Reddit is, though. It's going through all those comments. It's just like, what the fuck? And even today, I've made a spreadsheet, right? To that tracks like a journey to masters. So you just put what points you started with, and then at the end of each day you put how many points you ended with, right? And it it works out all sorts of stuff, like it works out how much points you gained in that day. It works out the average points that you've been earning across every day in this reset. It works what average you need each day, because, for example, on the first day of this ranked split, I needed to get an average of 441 points every day. But because I got 2,538 in that first day, the average I then need going forward is less. Do you understand how that works?
Yeah.
So it shows you that as well. And I think that's really important to know as well, because if you're trying to hit 441 points every single day, you're going to get to your goal way quicker, which although that's good, you're not actually keeping track of something then, So it shows you what rank you started at and what rank you've ended at, how much points you need left to get to the goal, things like that. I'm proud of this. I think it's really cool. It's really fun to enter your stuff in. So the first comment was like, nice, I'm going to use this for sure. I love spreadsheets. But the only two other comments are trying to act like it already exists on a website. And they tried to link two different websites. One of them's like, ApexLegendsStatus.com. Thank me later. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Because I checked. And they don't fucking do that. They don't do that. So they've just obviously not looked at it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, God. People are so dumb. Well, they sure are dumb.
No, right, they sure are.
I better get back on my shit. I better get back on my grind. I could do with getting another 300 points or so today. That'd be pretty poggers.
It would. It'd make me clap and it'd make me wheeze.
What games are you playing at the minute?
To be honest, I'm just painting. I'm just painting for the tournament at the end of this month. I pretty much just watch Germa clips and paint.
And wank.
Yeah, and wank to Germa. Right this second, I'm fucking about on Total War. But yeah, I'm not really playing a lot at the moment. I'm just painting.
Do you want to know the fights for Creator Clash 2? Because we did go through them previously, but things have changed a bit.
Fucking go on then.
Just run through them quick. Jack Manifold versus Dakota Olave. You'll not know them. I know Jack Manifold, so we're going to root for them. Jilare versus Abelina Sabrina. Again, I don't know.
I believe you, Sabrina.
Dad, who knocked out Matt Watson last time, versus AB, who lost to Honda last time. Don't know why that matchup's happened. Dad should absolutely dominate that. Leonhart versus Crank Game Plays. Don't know Crank Games Plays. Leonhart's a Pokemon guy. Yep, we'll see. Then there's Mika versus Alana Pierce. Erin versus Jarvis Johnson.
This is the second one he's been in. He's not done
he
any more.
Lost to Harley Epic Mealtime.
Yeah.
Before. So there's that. Myth is fighting Hundar. That should be a good fight. I'm excited for that. Then we got Haley Sharp, which is Yodeling Haley, who Minx fought, versus Misha Ray. I think that's that one that you know from Critical Role.
Yeah.
Then we've got William Haynes versus Chris Reagan. I think this is a fight that was supposed to be Froggy Fresh. But Froggy Fresh was doing some trash talking as boxers do and mentioned something about iDubbbz's girlfriend's mum or something like that. And then that was enough to get him banned from the whole event. And to be honest, everyone was like, what the fuck? How has iDubbbz turned into such a little fucking pussy? You know?
Right.
Like, he was literally barely saying anything. When people heard that Froggy Fresh had been banned because of some controversial tweets, people thought he'd been like racist or something like that, you know? No, he'd just been doing like normal trash talk, you know, like your mama jokes or something like that. It was basically on that level.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like her mother had cancer or something, and like it was like, oh, I hope your mother dies of fucking cancer or some. What did he say? What was his exact words?
I don't know. I can't remember, and I can't be bothered to look it up. But he said something. It was basically on the level of a Yo Mama joke, but it was towards. Is her name Anita, iDubbbz's girlfriend? It was towards her mum. So because she's one of the like organizers and stuff like that, you got fucking banned.
Oh my!
It's just pathetic. I think iDubbbz is like he's gone down a lot in my standing. It seems to be ever since it found out he's with this girl, because he just like he's turned into such a pussy.
Yeah.
Or at least it seems so. And he seems pretty tough in boxing. I kind of hope he wins his fight in a way. So I think that's one that's It's changed. So what's bad about this, by the way, is Chris Raygun is 5'4". That's how tall you are, I think, Judd. And he's 130 pounds, right? Which is probably, you know, you probably weigh a bit more than that. He looks like he's skinny, you know, 5'4" skinny. He's fighting a guy who's only an inch shorter than me, 5'10", who's 15 pounds heavier than him. Yeah. It's just a complete mismatch. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Then we've got Michelle Kerr versus Andrea Botez. Michelle's 4 inches shorter and weighs nearly 10 pounds less. So again, it's a little bit. It's quite an advantage, but it's not too far. Andrea Botez, I don't think I knew before, but she's like a big chess streamer.
A chess streamer? Oh, is she? I think I know who you're talking about. Maybe.
I think she's done quite a few things with like Ludwig, I think, and you know that sort of circle. And
did you ever see the clip of Charlie Moist Critical be in XQC at chess? Was it her that was on that? Do you know the clip?
I have not seen the clip, but probably.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And we've got John Randall Hennigan, who was a pro wrestler guy, WWE, I think. I'm not sure. Against Harley Epic Mealtime. Harley from Epic Mealtime, by the way, has gotten ripped for this.
Has he?
Cool. Let me just show you. Breaking news.
What?
Jake
go on.
Paul has just announced his next fight. 5th of August. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Do you know Nate Diaz?
Nope.
He is a classic fucking UFC guy.
Okay.
So he's a big name in the UFC. He famously beat Conor McGregor gave Conor McGregor his first defeat in the UFC.
Oh shit.
So yeah, there's that. He's a loudmouth. He talks the talk and stuff like that. He's a tough guy, but he's kind of old now. How old is Nate Diaz? I would say he's 37. I'd say it's potentially a step back from. In fact, it is a step back from Jake Paul's last win. So just on that, by the way, Jake Paul rejected a fight with KSI 3 times this year. Oh, and then has decided to fight Nate Diaz. Don't know. Why do you think?
Because he's a little bitch. That's what I think.
Yep. Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and then was like, I want the rematch. Because he's got a rematch clause. Could do it. It's in the contract. But and then KSI's like, look, here's a fight date to fight me. Should fight me. So basically, but then Jake Paul kind of has an excuse, being like, I want to fight Tommy Fury though. That did sold a lot of pay-per-views, and it was a reasonably competitive fight, and I think I can win. I want to do the rematch. So that gives Jake 2 options: either he fights Tommy Fury because that's what his excuse is, or he can fight KSI. If he fights anyone else, which he's doing, it looks a lot like he's running. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's interesting. Okay, so what was I showing you? Oh yeah, Harley Epic Mealtime's gotten ripped. 1 second. I'll link it to you on Discord.
Okay.
How do I... There you go. So, there he is.
That's damn pretty good.
So, picture number 1 is what he was like in the first Creator Clash, when he beat Aaron. Aaron? I don't know which one it is.
It's Aaron. It was John that called him
Aaron. So that's what he looked like when he fought him. And the second picture is what he looks like now. You can see abs coming through there and everything. That's pretty fucking cool. So that's good. That's going to be a good one. I'm excited for that. Then the main event, iDubbbz versus Alex Wasabi. So that's going to be fun too. Don't know why they've got the zodiac signs on this. I feel like it's not like a joke enough. I feel like they actually want that there, as if they think, oh, that's, you know, they need to know that because that's going to make a difference. You know, that totally feels like an iDubbbz girlfriend type of shit. It totally does. I was just gonna say that feels like that's something she said.
I don't like her.
Yeah. And I in my opinion, it's none of my business really. I think he needs to get rid of her and grow some balls.
God, all right.
Because, you know, seems like a little bitch right now. But it doesn't. Anyway, putting on a great event. I think. Should be a good one. Right, okay. Well, I'll see you on Saturday at around 7 p.m. midnight.
All right. Okay.
What? No, 7 p.m. Okay.